Welcome back, everybody. Today's Tuesday and we are getting ready for another weekend of racing. This time, West Salem, Ohio, Dragway 42's Rewind 2, put on by D-Team Racing. The first thing I had to do today, and the first thing Billy needed to do, was get some of these posters autographed for Tommy. Tommy and Allison sell these posters on srcphotos.com, and sometimes people ask to have them autographed before they ship. So we had a handful of those to get signed before we got started on the Falcon today. So you want to explain a little bit about what we found with the suspension on the old Falcon and what we did as far as changes, which we don't know if they're really going to work yet, but
So what I did was I lowered the top bar from this hole to this hole. And I adjusted the upper bars to get it centered in the car perfectly, at least perfectly from what I can do with a tape measure anyways. So moving it from this hole to this hole is going to give it more of a downward angle when the car is at ride height.
And that shortens the instant center. It's
going to shorten the instant center a little bit and hopefully give it a little more anti-squat. Because once this bar goes level, once it plants the tire and the bar goes level, it can't separate anymore just by the laws of physics.
Right.
So hopefully that gives us a little more separation and plants the tire a little harder. And then I looked at the lower bars and I did some measurements from the front of the axle tube, like right here on this bracket, to this bracket. And side to side there was about a 1/2 inch difference, and the driver's side lower bar angle, or the lower bar, was about 1/2 inch longer. So it was going to give it a little bit of rear steer to the left from what I could measure. And that's what the car was doing. I know you're supposed to set up like a plumb bob and get the perfect center line and everything, but that's just what I could measure off the brackets. And that's what it seemed like the car was doing. So
it pushed really hard to the driver's side in the burnout.
Yeah. And at Marion, when he was testing it in the right lane, I noticed that, I mean, it was crowned a little to the right, but it would burn out straight when it was crowned right.
Yeah.
So, you know, it definitely had a little bit of rear steer in it towards the driver's side to the left. So I think we corrected that. I need to wait till the transmission's back to adjust the pinion angle just right. Right now it's set, from what I can tell, it's going to be set about -2, and that's probably what we want. So
what was it previously before you started adjusting the pinion angle? You know?
I didn't check it before I started. I didn't check it at ride height, so I can't really say.
I got you.
But we're going to set it at like -2. I can't really get it till the drive shaft's back in it and everything, but we're going to get some blocks, that way we can set it on the ground, and I can get under it while it's loaded and see what it is. So
we need to get some scales too.
Yeah, we really need to get some scales, get all that stuff.
I'm going to go message Uncle Terry. So while Billy continued working on the Falcon, I got on the phone to my favorite parts guy at Jegs, Uncle Terry. T-Mac, as we call him, let me know that they didn't have the steering wheel adapter or the scales in stock at the 11th Avenue store. So Terry ordered them in, and they should be there first thing in the morning. In the meantime, the boys went ahead and got the slicks put back on the Falcon so that we could set it back down and start checking everything at ride height. But we really needed to go get some blocks so we could get underneath this thing with it setting on the wheels and tires. Billy bought this digital angle finder yesterday while we were at Summit, so we're all set. All we needed was some concrete blocks. So we ran down to Lowe's, picked up some blocks, brought them back, and put the old Falcon up on them so we could get underneath of it and start checking all the bar angles with his new digital angle finder. So while Billy continued to work on the Falcon, I decided it was time to get the shipping and receiving area cleaned up. We had a bunch of boxes in there that needed to get burned. So I got that taken care of while Vicky was running errands tonight, and started the generator on the trailer, turned the air conditioning on, so Vicky and I can work on the trailer this evening when she gets back and start getting ready for another weekend of racing. So what do you got there, Tigro?
Borg Warner boxes. So we got turbos. So I guess after Billy robbed my turbos, he felt bad enough where he would replace them. I guess.
Shame on you, Billy.
These are even better than the ones that are on my truck.
What?
What?
Why?
So you know what's gonna happen now is he's gonna be like, I need those. So he's gonna take these and then he'll give me my original one.
These have new wheels that no one else has.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
These are the V5 wheels.
Oh. Old boy's got some tricks up his sleeve, does he?
Yeah.
We're the first ones to get these?
That's what he said.
Old Jose. What's the difference in them?
He got some trickery under that.
Pretty big. Are they the same size?
Yeah.
Are they billet wheel?
Yeah.
Back off.
Let me see this.
Even the wheels got the FIS on it.
Would you look at that?
Those are pretty gnarly.
Billet wheel.
Look at that. That's some sexy stuff right there.
Is there any possible way you can stop these from rusting?
No.
That sucks.
But you can buy turbo blankets to put on them so that you can't see the rust. Set them up there side by side. So where are we at on the Falcon? You want to explain to everybody what you figured out?
So I adjusted the upper control arm angle to give it a little more anti-squat and to move the instant center back towards the rear end. The instant center was probably about where the driver sits, and then now it's basically in the back seat. So we changed the angle of the upper control arm so that it has more room for the tires to plant, and it should give it a little more separation. And I'm hoping that it works a little bit better. It plants the tire a little harder and goes faster. And when we get this transmission back, hopefully it doesn't slip anymore. And
So Dion did find some things wrong with the transmission. He sent you some pictures, right?
yeah, he said that the band was burnt for one. The pump wasn't in real good shape.
I saw those pictures of the pump and it was tore up pretty good. So what's he going to do? He's going to put a new pump in it?
He's putting a new pump and a new stator support combination, a new input, whatever Hughes recommends for that engine, the
Yeah.
LS.
Yeah.
He's going to put that in it, and he said it should be ready by tomorrow. Hopefully.
Sweet.
So what's causing the converter slippage?
Well,
line
there was a line
pressure.
pressure problem for one, and the band was burnt out of it.
Not putting enough fluid into the converter. Like the charge pressure and everything is like super low.
Yeah. So we're not going to change the stator until we put the transmission back in the car and we find out how the stator actually does work with proper line pressure and a good pump and a good band in it and everything working properly, right?
Because near the end of the run, you can hear the RPMs drop and the slippage goes down to 8%.
Right.
So that's not bad, but it takes it the whole run to get there.
Yeah. So hopefully when we get the transmission back from Dion, all those problems are going to go away, and then we can start working towards stator changes if that's a necessity, right?
Yep.
And then the next thing, what do you got your eyeballs on?
I'm just looking at all this stuff.
No, we were just talking about them turbos.
Oh. We're going to have to keep them on here for now, but somewhere in the future I'd like to put the precisions on there. Because I know those precisions, when I went from these to the precisions on my truck,
It was night and day
that's when I
difference.
won that 10 grander at Magnolia. It made a huge difference.
Because we had these exact turbos on your truck, and they were piles of garbage.
Yeah, I ended up putting the 66s back on it because I
It
just
slowed
couldn't-
down like 3/10 and 10 mile an hour. We couldn't get it back.
I put my junk 66s back on, you know, that I originally put on the truck when I first went turbo, and it actually went 2/10 faster.
Right.
So, and the reason is it's not because the compressor wheel or anything. It's mainly just the exhaust housing, and the exhaust wheel is just smaller, and I was at the limit of the back pressure and everything else because I was 406 cubic inches. This one's 370, so it's not quite as bad, but it still makes really good power.
But I think it's going to make a lot more power if we put those Precision 76, 75s on it, because that made a world of difference in your truck.
It did pick up on those, but I think we could pick up even more if we went to like what's on my truck now. And I don't think it would be lazy. It builds boost really fast now.
Well, have to talk to Jose.
We definitely add a little weight to the front because these are real light. They're small, but
Well, that's not really a concern of mine, because this thing has proved that nose heavy isn't really that big of a problem. If anything, it'd probably make it go faster. It's just going to make it dig that much harder. So tomorrow, a trip to Jegs for a steering wheel adapter and some 4-corner scales, right?
if they've got it,
Yeah, Terry's got that stuff on order. He said it should be there tomorrow. And then possibly somebody's got to run up and see Dion and go pick up the transmission. So
if it's done.
if it's done, maybe I'll run up to Dion's and pick up that transmission for you while you guys stay here and work on stuff at the shop.
Are you gonna pick out a steering wheel, or
You're driving, you pick it out.
I don't care.
We'll go together and pick one out.
There's this one I liked. It's different. It's like the one that has like the flat bottom. I think they look kind of good, and it might be nice because it's kind of. I mean, it'll be smaller than that, obviously, but you know, there's like a tight space in between the steering wheel and the roll cage. If it's got like a flat spot in the wheel.
You can turn the wheel there and then squeeze in between.
Plus, I think they look. You know, I don't see very many people with those, so it's different.
I'm down for whatever. I'm just tuning it. You're driving. Unless I have to make suspension changes and I don't trust myself, then I'll drive it, and then I'll let you drive it.
It's fine.
All right, everybody. So we're winding down for tonight out here in the shop. Billy went home to get some rest. Tommy's in the house. Vicky should be back here any minute. She was running errands tonight. But we're moving forward on the little Falcon. I think it's going to be pretty good. And I'm really proud of my kids. I know we took a lot of shit about, Billy taking Tommy's turbos. But the reality is Billy's paid for all this stuff. And I've pitched in a little bit too here and there. Not so much in the last year or so. It's mostly been Billy. But you got to understand something about our family. We're maybe a little bit different than maybe what some people are accustomed to, in that we take care of each other no matter what. We don't leave each other stranded. We don't take anything that we don't put back, except for Billy, and he don't put my tools back. But that's another story. But my family's always been very tight-knit. We look out for each other. We take care of each other. And if somebody has something that somebody else needs, it's theirs. Like, you know, this shop, there's nothing in here that belongs to me anymore other than the tools, basically. My Nova's sitting outside. But, you know, we all sacrifice for each other, and we do what we have to do to get ahead. And so everybody was worried that Tommy was getting the short end of the stick when Billy took his turbos, when in all actuality, Billy bought the first set of turbos and turned around and ordered another set immediately, even though he's got basically a brand new set of Precision 7675s that he could have just given Tommy, and Tommy would have been fine with it. But instead, he ordered Tommy another brand new set of Forced Inductions 7683s, and it turns out this set's even got nicer billet wheels than the ones that are on Billy's truck. So we're not trying to take advantage of Tommy. You know, we're not trying to take advantage of anybody. We're just simply doing the best we can with what we got and helping each other along the way, and sacrificing. Each of us has different sacrifices that we put forth to make this work. It's a lot. It takes every one of us helping and working together to make this deal fly. It's not easy. But if anybody can do it, I guess maybe we can. It's not easy. Let's go in and see Vicky. I know she's itching to give the details. She likes to give the detail speech about what's coming for the next weekend at the race details. She loves to do that. So let's go see her so we can get the details. All right, I'm ready. The details.
The details. As quickly as I can do them. All right. Dragway 42 Saturday. Gates open at 1. Driver's meeting is at 5. And chip drop. And then first round is at 6. We'll have the merch tent up. Be there. It's gonna be a good time. It's not supposed to be as hot. If you want the weather report.
Yeah, let's just give me the whole thing, all the details.
According to the weather, it's going to be a nice cooler night, so